Hey, what's going on YouTube? Easton here, just going through the 9 Elements of Arm Wrestling episode 2 today. Today's focus is going to be on cupping, chop, and then supination. And it's only 3 movements today, so this should be a pretty quick video. I'm just going to run through all 3 exercises just like I did in the first episode where we did rise and pronation. And then I'm just going to kind of detail you guys the sets and reps that I'm doing for these exercises, the order in which I'm doing them, and then just some basic form and some tips on how to get the most out of the movements. Today we're going to be using the little cable machine right here. Got a little power rack with the cables built in, so it makes it pretty easy to get these exercises in. We're going to be doing what I call cable cup first. It's just a simple, I'll show you guys here, I'm sure you can see it, but it's just a little rolling handle with a fat grip on it, so it's got a little resistance because of the width of the handle, and it's contacting with the edge of the grip here, the handle. So, but it works pretty good. Let's get that attached here. I got about 35 pounds on there right now. I'm still beat up. This is the day right after I did the first episode, so I'm still recovering from the tournament I had on the weekend. It's Tuesday today, so still feeling that pretty good. But what I'll do is usually like 8 to 12 reps here. Sometimes if I'm going really heavy and I'm recovered, I'll do like maybe 5 reps. But I feel like cup exercises are not very good to do 1 rep maxes with, just because of how much volume your forearm muscles can handle. I think it's better to go for like best of 5, maybe even, heaviest of 3 lifts with this. I think volume is better here instead of 1 rep maxes. You're less likely to get hurt doing something silly as well. But for form, I got some little, you can't see it, but I got some little foot pads here to anchor myself against with this power rack, which is pretty neat. You won't always have that, in which case you'll just plant your feet as stable as you can so you don't move. And then I like to get really tight for cupping exercises. So close to my body, usually I'll have my wrists, I don't know if you guys can see it, but pretty close to straight when I start, just to practice on that ready go position. And then I'll kind of tug down a little bit, just straight down like that. And then from here, you just cup it in, just like so. For lighter weights, it's really easy to do isolated form only without really moving your body. For heavier weights, you might be moving a little bit. This is totally fine. This is still going to activate your forearm muscles completely. And then for wrist position as well, in terms of pronation and supination, you can do it flat wristed. You can even pronate a little bit when you cup. This will target your ring finger, your middle finger and your index finger more than if you're flat wristed. And then if you supinate, it'll actually target your pinky and your ring finger a little more. So for the bottom 2, you can supinate a bit like this. For the top 2, you can pronate a little bit like this, or you can do it flat and get it pretty even activation all the way around. But I'm going to do these sets. Usually I'll do about 10 sets, just like I did with the pronation and the other lifting video. Since it's the first exercise, I do a lot of volume, and it'll give me a lot of sets to work my way up really heavy when I'm recovered. So I'm going to knock these out off camera, about a minute of rest in between my sets, and then I will come back to you guys when I'm ready to go on to the next exercise. Alrighty guys, so I just finished up all 10 sets of the cup. I'm feeling a little bit pumped right now. I stayed at 35 pounds the whole time, just still, like I said, recovering. But that's a move that I do like to go really heavy on, like I said before, usually about 5 reps, 3 to 5 reps. So the next movement here is going to be targeting that chop, which is your ability to opposite then rise, chop your hand down. What I have here is just literally like a towel, little dish rag sort of situation here, or hand towel situation, I should say. I got the carabiner. I just folded it a couple times, that way I can get it in here in the carabiner. And what I'll do is grab it like so that way it's nice and tight, pulled together. And I'll take my hand, kind of cup it a little bit, and it goes right in between the pinky finger knuckle and the knuckle right here on my hand, the pinky knuckle. So I'll just grab it right in between there. I'm not sure how much you guys can see on camera over there, but just like that. And then I'll set up really tight, just like I was for the cup. I'm actually going to cut my hand in a little bit, lean my body down so I can get it pulled down with my lat. And then from here, I just chop my hand down like that. That's it. I'll do usually about 10 sets of this for 8 to 12 reps as well. You don't go heavy on this lift. This is more of a volume lift for sure. You don't want to try and max this out wrist joint movements like this. You could really hurt your wrist messing around heavy on this. So I just have 25 to 30 pounds on there, right around, for 12 reps. So I'll do one set on camera of this. So this technique's a little bit weirder. I want you guys to be able to see it. So cup, down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you'll feel the burn, sometimes even here in the hand meat, whatever you want to call that, palm. And you'll feel it in your elbow a little bit, and then running down the back of your forearm right here, it'll really pump it up. So I'll do, like I said, 10 sets of this. I'm going to knock out my sets right and left arm off camera, and I will come back with my supination movement next. Okay, so I just finished up my last bit of the chop exercise. Set number 10 is done. I'm feeling pretty pumped right now in the bottom of the forearm here, lower forearm. And the next movement is supination. This will be the last movement for the workout today, besides I do cardio and some other stuff after my weightlifting as well. But this will be the last movement today. 10 sets of this movement, and I'm going to show you guys 8 to 12 reps, very similar to the other two. Actually, exactly the same as the other two. About a minute to a minute and a half of rest in between, depending on the intensity of the workout. I feel like that works pretty well, a minute to a minute and a half for movements. With the forearm and stuff, you don't need as much recovery time as, obviously like bench press or even heavy bicep movements and stuff like that. But for the supination, we're using the same towel, same weight, 25 pounds. You don't need it to be very heavy for this. This is more of a volume lift, less of a 1 rep max. You can do heavy, I would say up to 5, maybe even 3 with this, so similar to the cup. But I wouldn't really go beyond that, because it's just it can be a little bit risky with these smaller muscle groups trying to go really heavy like that, especially on the shoulder as well. So for the form here, you're going to take that thick back meat right here, whatever you would call this, the back of your palm right here. Stick that right against the towel there. Grip it. I rarely ever grip these, if ever at all, thumb over. I like to just grab these normal. I don't cap my thumb with these exercises. It just doesn't get as much activation in my opinion. Now, I like to put my foot up against the cable machine. Not every machine can you do this with. If you can't do that with your cable, you can just position your feet on the ground, since you won't be going very heavy with this. So I got my foot, it's off camera right now, but I got it way back, my right foot, since I'm using my right arm. And then I'm really anchoring hard on the left foot right now as my main support. And then what I'll do is get really tight here and then twist down and in, kind of into a pressing movement. The weight is pulling up through my shoulder right now. This helps keep my shoulder safe. And then I literally will just supinate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can get a little twist in there too. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. That's the movement. You're going to feel an incredible amount of activation down here in the elbow area. This will really burn your forearm down here in the elbow. And like I said, staying tight with your shoulder. You want the cable to kind of be pulling in line with your shoulder, just to keep this all safe, so you don't have any really weird rotational force. And that's another reason why you want to keep it really light, so you don't have anything stupid happen and hurt your shoulder or hurt your arm at all. So I'm going to do 10 sets of this. Then I will be done with that part of the workout. And like I said, I'll go do my cardio stuff later. This will be it for today's video though. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Cup, chop, supination. I think the next video will be on back pressure and posting pressure, which are 2 of my favorite lifts to do. So I'm excited to go through all that information, and I'll be doing that probably tomorrow, day after this video is uploaded. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed it, make sure you like and comment down below with any suggestions you have, maybe any form tips for me even. I'm always open to feedback, or if you have any other ideas on good movements to train supination, chop, and cup, let me know. I know there's plenty of other movements. These are just the ones that I like the most for my training. And make sure you guys check out all Max supplements as well, and use code Easton for 20% off. Link in the description down below. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.